You know, when I get to meet many of you in person, like at the store or at shows, what I hear all the time is, I love my machine, but I don't know everything that it can do. Well, you know, we can learn the way little kids learn if we just play. So I have a little project for you today. We're going to talk a little bit about the Brothers Stellaire, but I have a project for you to play with your machine just a little bit. It's a fun little bag, and there's no wrong way to do it, but the most important thing is play with your machine. You get to learn it. I'm Kathy. This is Sewing Tech Talk. Let's play on the Brothers Stellaire. So by making a fun little bag, by playing, we can learn some stuff about our machine. And there's no wrong way to do it. So that's what's kind of cool. So I have a handout for this in all my videos, and I give you the dimensions for this little bag. It's a good size for shopping or travel, but you can make this bag in any size. There's really no wrong way to do it. What I'd like to show you today is, I'm going to talk a little bit about having some fun with your machine and playing in my design center, but I also want to show you little zipper tips, because this bag has a little zipper in it, and it's fully lined, which is pretty cool. So that's a good skill to know anyway, how to make a fully lined bag. So now this bag has 3 different areas where you can do some play with your machine. Above the zipper, below the zipper, and on the back, on this one I played in my design center and put in one of those decorative fills. Like I said, there's no wrong way to do it. Now, there's one thing that happens when you know how to sew, and it might be the only thing that's kind of inconvenient about knowing how to sew. People bring you their treasured objects for mending when they go bad, okay? So these are my cousin's favorite jeans, and you know when the crotch looks like that, I broke the news to him. They can't be fixed. So he donated them to me, and I'm going to make a fun little bag out of them. It's a great way to practice, especially because these jeans, I know why they were his favorite. They're super, super stretchy. And I have a pair of jeans I want to do some embroidery on, and they're super stretchy. So I've done some experimenting on the front of my bag. On the back of my bag, what I'm doing is I just cut out the pocket area, right? And that's going to be just fine for the back. And I just took some of the parts of the jeans and cut them apart. I have enough for probably a couple more bags. But the front of them, what I'm going to do is I put one of my favorite designs on there. I have this floral pattern that I really like, and on the back of this super stretchy Levi stretch jean material, I put something called Dreamweave Fusible, and what it does, it's a nice little product. It comes in black and white, and I use it on delicate fabrics, and what it does is it provides some stability for them. It's not stabilizer, but it provides stability. And in the hoop, what I did is the jean leg was not big enough to hoop, right? So I pinned it in. I just put it on a cutaway stabilizer. Now you could also do this, and I'm going to show you a little bag in a little bit, where you can put some scrap batting in there and kind of give it kind of a puffy look. Like I said, this is a great way to experiment with things you may have wanted to try before. If it works out, it's great. You have a great little fun bag. If it doesn't, you haven't wasted that much time or material. So this is the front of my bag, and I put that large, I put a decorative fill in behind it. Let me show you kind of how I did that. So the Stellaire is a really feature-packed machine. There's lots of different things to play with. And one of my favorites, if you watched any Sewing Tech Talk before, is my design center, where you can create your own design. And you can create, like I said, that decorative background fill, and all kinds of different stuff to kind of give your embroidery just a little bit extra. Make it more custom and personalized for you. That's one of the big benefits of this machine. It's also a wireless machine, and it's connected. There's an app called My Design Snap, and what you do is you can put it on your mobile device, like your phone, or I have it on my iPad. And what you can do is you can take a picture of what's in the hoop, send it to the machine, and use that for designing. Let's just check it out. So here is, now I don't think I'm going to embroider on it, but this, I wanted to show you this. This is going to be the top of my zipper. This is the lining. This is the actual fabric right here. I'm going to use that Levi fabric, right? I just as easily could use this really pretty printed fabric. Now don't forget, in the handout, I tell you all the parts and pieces you need for your bag. Above the zipper, below the zipper, the back, and in front of outside of the bag, and the lining as well. So now what you can do is you can take this hoop, right, and you can see the black and white areas right there, and you take a picture of the hoop, and I'm going to send this off to embroidery so I can see not only the size of my project in the hoop, but the colors as well. So here it is. I took the picture of it, I sent it to the machine, and I say okay. Now what I did was a snap capture with the frame for pattern positioning, but you can also use it for pattern editing. You can send pictures in there for creating your own embroidery designs. There's all kinds of videos that I've done on this feature. So check the back catalog. They're all on YouTube or Facebook, and see if there's something that's interesting or exciting for you. Now let's see what that looks like. I'm going to go back to embroidery. Now let's put the frame on that I took the picture of. Here's my pretty front. I'm going to take that off and put my bag together. But let's put the frame on. And when I come in, I'm going to pull up that design, or any design really, but I think it's Charlotte's Flowers. And let's see, I love this. I love this design pack. I don't know why. I put it on just about everything. Let's see, where's my flower? Notice how what the machine is doing is it's bringing in all the different images of your designs, and you see them really clearly. So that's one of the cool features of the machine. Let's see, where's the one I chose? Oh, it's this one right up here. That one right there. Okay, there it is. Now it's going to ask me, do I want to update my vision? And I say yes, I do. So it's going to show me there is that there's that lining if I want to put my flower on. Now I can clearly see that if I did this flower on that background, I'm probably not going to see it. So I can use this app to really audition my embroidery design before I stitch it out. So that's a great feature, and you might want to play with that if you haven't played with it before. I know I'm not going to be using this flower on my little outside, on my lining. I'm not going to do that. But so let's add that decorative fill, and let's go and play a little bit into my design center. So I really don't want that image, and so all I do is I touch this up here and it goes away. It's still there if I want it, but I can take it away. That's great. So now let's add that background area. What I've done is I've taken a copy of the outline by touching this key right here, and that sent that off to my design center so I can use it for creating that background. So I'm going to hit add. I'm going to go to my design center. Now I want to have a design that I'm going to be stitching on the top of that, and I'm going to probably want to have it, let's see, I'm probably going to want to have, now I can choose it before or after, but I can choose some sort of a pretty background fill. Let's see, doesn't really matter, they're all beautiful. Let's try that one. Okay, and then okay. Now I'm going to bring in a square. So let's bring in a square. Here's my shape. Actually, it's a rectangle. So let's bring in my rectangle right there. Okay. Now, let's make it the size that I want. I'm probably not going to stitch it out, so we're just going to play around. That's good. Okay. Now I want to bring in that little outline that I have for my little flower. There's my outline shape right there. There it is. Okay. and it put it right on the top of that fill. Now, if I was just playing around, I might think, oh no, what did I do? Did I make a mistake? Did I not? Well, I really kind of didn't, because there's all kinds of different ways you can approach this to create exactly what you want. I don't want stitching inside my little flower, do I? No, let's take it out. So when I see my little flower, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say, oh, I don't want any sewing in there. Okay. Touch the bucket and touch inside my little flower. Ta-da! Now I can kind of tell that it kind of wants to maybe put a zigzag around. Let's see if it does. Next. And let's do a preview. Oh, it didn't. I'm good. It's perfect. So you see, by playing around back and forth, you can get kind of exactly what you want. It's kind of a fun way to learn your machine. Because if you don't know how to do it, watch a Sewing Tech Talk video and then play and create something small and make your fun little bag your own. Now I really want to show you how to put in a zipper and do this bag together so it's completely lined. So now, I don't think I'm really going to embroider on the top of my zipper top here. Let's take that off. And I want to go into sewing. Super easy on the Stellaire. I could turn the machine off and take off the embroidery unit and turn it back on again. But I can also sew something really fast, quick, and easy by leaving the embroidery unit on. So I'm going to go home. Okay. And if I go into sewing, the machine is going to put that embroidery arm out of my way. So I can do a quick, fast, and easy little sewing job in between embroidery. I switch out my foot to a sewing foot, and I'm good to go. So I want to show you a little bit about how this zipper goes in the bag, because it's kind of fun. So in this bag, what I do is I'm going to bring up, I have one started. And what I do is I put the zipper in, and I kind of put a tab like on either side. Why? Because I don't want to have my zipper ends coming out into the seam, because it's just not fun sometimes to sew over that. And if I'm using a metal zipper, which I could, then I don't want to accidentally sew into the metal. That's not good for your needle at all. So what I do is I put a tab on either side. And for this Levi bag, I am choosing a jeans metal zipper. And here's my zipper right now. Let me turn this over so that you can see, maybe a little bit better. So on either side of my zipper, I sewed a little tab of the Levi material. Now, if your zipper's longer than you need, you could use any size zipper and just cut it down to the size that you need. When I sewed across here, there wasn't any metal on either side. If there was, what I would have done is sewn on up to where the metal teeth are, stopped, and started on the other side. And if you cut off your metal zipper, do yourself a favor. Don't use your scissors. Use something that can really attack that metal. So now, let me show you how I put this in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the different parts of the top of the zipper and below the zipper, and I'm going to make a little sandwich for that zipper to be totally encased. Now there's a zipper foot that comes with the machine, and it looks just like this. And I kind of know why they've included this zipper foot with the machine. Because when you put it on one side or the other, and if your needle's in the center needle position, it's okay, you're not going to break a needle. And it's a great zipper foot, don't get me wrong, but I have a preferred one, and that's this little narrow zipper foot right here. When you put it on, you have to tell the machine that you want the needle to go either to the extreme left or the extreme right. You got to remember that so you don't break a needle. So basically all I'm going to do, I'm going to pick the left needle position, and I'm actually all set with this little zipper foot. The reason I like that one is it doesn't have this little ledge right here. And if I'm sewing next to a really tall zipper pull, it works. So I'm going to put I left some pink thread in the machine so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to align the zipper up to the top. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the top that I am on the bottom, because I'm going to enclose the zipper on both sides. So here we go. Now think about where you want the zipper pull. I think I want it on the left-hand side. I'm going to put the zipper right here, right sides together with my little guy. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of stitch it down before I bring in that lining. I think you can see why I like that narrow zipper foot, is I didn't have to move this very large zipper pull. I could just go past it. On the other zipper foot, I might have had to move it out of the way and stop and start. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lining piece and I'm going to make a little sandwich out of that zipper. And I'm going to put it right here. And I'm going to re-sew on the line that I've already stitched on, using it as a guide, and I'm going to stitch that lining piece to the other side of the zipper. Now what I have is I've put that zipper in. There's going to be the top of my bag. I have it perfectly sewn here, and I have it perfectly sewn here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom of my bag. Now don't forget, there's a handout with lots of pictures to show you exactly what this looks like. And don't forget, I have my zipper tabs on either side, so I don't have to worry when I do my seams on the outside. Now let me show you real quick how you can make this a completely lined bag. It's actually pretty easy. I have one already started. So the Stellaire is a Disney machine, so I couldn't stand it. I had to do a really fun Disney design, and there's a really cool butterfly design that's built into the machine as well. Notice how I did that quilting in the background using one of those decorative fills. The same process I showed you with the flower is what I did to go around this butterfly. Once you play with it, it's pretty easy. Now here's the front all completed. Notice my zippers here. Here's what the back looks like. So that's the part I just showed you. You do the same thing on the bottom of the part below the zipper, and you get a fully lined front. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to place the front of the bag and the back of the bag right sides together. Now if you have a handle, I have one that I'm just going to sew in, or like you're just going to sew tabs in and add the handle later. Now's the time to put them in there and baste them on in. So I'm going to put this together, line up the edges. Now on the front, I can see where my seam line is. So I'm going to make sure everything is good to go. It's kind of bulky, isn't it? It's no problem, because the Brother Stellaire has an automatic sensor to know how thick my fabric is, and it automatically adjusts the pressure on the fabric. Now, I'm not going to use my narrow zipper foot. I do have something thick, so I'm going to use my Ultra T foot to go around that. And I have a couple other options with my Stellaire as well. I can use my LED guide light and use that as a seam guide as I'm going around there. I want to have my needle position in the middle, so look at that's perfect to go around there. So I have a lot of different features that I can play with. So I'm going to quickly sew around the outside edge of my bag, and then I'm going to show you how we completely line it. But there's one thing I have to make sure I do before I do that. You want to make sure that your zipper is open. You'll see why in a little bit. So now let's sew around this bag. And then we'll line it. So I've sewn around my entire bag. I don't have that final lining piece in. And here's the trick. Here's my lining piece. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lining and I'm going to put it right sides together with the other lining piece that I have with the zipper. Now this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew around, but I'm going to leave an opening at the bottom. So basically when I turn it right side out, what's going to happen is it'll be an inside out bag. But then through that zipper opening, I'm going to turn it and then my bag will all be ready. Pretty easy stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew around the bottom and I'm going to leave an opening. And I kind of want to know where that seam is, so I'm going to sew it from this side. And I turn it right side out and I have a finished bag. Thank you for watching me today. I hope you really enjoyed learning how to make a fun little bag. Remember, go play with your machine. Doesn't matter if you really know how to do something. Just figure something that you don't know and play with it and do it. I'm going to shoot it off to George. I really like my fun little bag. And they're kind of like potato chips. It's hard to stop. Take it away, George.
Thanks, Cathy. That was an incredible presentation. And so let's go over the special offer we have on the Brother Stellaire series. So we have the XJ2, which is their combination sewing and embroidery, and the XE2, which is dedicated embroidery. They both share the same embroidery features, which is a large 9.5 by 14 inch embroidery area with over 780 built-in embroidery designs, and of them, over 100 of them are Disney. It also has over 30 fonts and large, beautiful monograms. And with the fonts, you can edit in all kinds of arrangements. You can arc, you can array, you can even cut and paste and kern it in some custom ways. Speaking of customization, you can take a design and do an automatic applique around it. And with the matrix copy, you can copy this very quickly to make patches. And if we had the scan and cut, we can actually send it to the scan and cut out those patches, and then embroider them beautifully. An additional advanced technology is a new 2-point laser positioning. I can take something like a name and position it perfectly on a line. I can use it to do multiple hoopings and match them perfectly. I can even use it for edge-to-edge quilting. Now, part of what the Stellaire series offers is a special relationship with the scan and cut. They actually can marry together, so I can send an applique design right from my machine and it will cut it out perfectly for beautiful applique. But better yet, I can send a design from my scan and cut and turn it into embroidery. It also unlocks a new feature where I can choose one of the colors of my design, whether if it's a built-in design, I can choose that and turn it into applique. But let's take that heart that I sent over. I turn it into embroidery. I select the color, and now it's applique. Now let's bring over the third part of the piece. I want to create my own fabric, and I can do that with Print Moda. I took an image of a rose and I arranged it just in a beautiful kaleidoscope of color. And I printed that fabric and placed it on in the scan and cut. I took my design I created on the Stellaire from the scan and cut, sent it over to the scan and cut it out, and I have one complete embroidery design created with that trifecta of creativity. Now the XJ2 also is a sewing machine, and it has a large 11.25-inch opening, beautiful lighting. It has 760 built-in stitches, from quilting stitches to applique to utility. It even has automatic stippling and some beautiful decorative stitches that are very, very wide. It also has an automatic 1/4 inch feature which moves the needle over a 1/4 inch from the foot, and you can use the laser guidance it has on there so you can just do some beautiful piecing. It also has amazing fabric control with an automatic fabric sensor, and this gives you the ability to sense multiple layers like in denim, or if I want to sew on some sheer fabric like this tricot, I can do that beautifully, or even working with elastics. It handles the fabric beautifully. If it's even more extreme, we can add the digital dual feed. This is a belt-driven feed system that gives perfect contact on the fabric. And so you see here with this marine vinyl, there's no slippage. I also can use it with such things as minky, which is hard to sew with, and of course, quilting. For more information on this incredible product, click on the link to see our current special offer. You can email us at customerservice@moores-sew.com or call us at 1-800-865-9664.